Alright, and hello everybody, I'm the Super27, and welcome to another Dokkan battle video. I apologize if the audio quality is a little bit worse than usual. This is obviously a pre-recorded video, hence the fast-forward footage, and I'm doing the voiceover over on my phone. But this is the Power Beyond Super Saiyan mission for the Red Zone Jiren stage, which is, as far as I'm aware, the hardest fight in the game. I have not yet tackled the Vegeta story Red Zone yet. Those videos will be coming in the upcoming days. I was going to do them on stream, but I had to cancel it the other day, blah, blah, blah. Something came up, but that's not really important right now. What is important is that I did do this before the Super Saiyan 4 and LR God EZAs dropped. I did this actually a couple of hours before the units dropped in-game. So I did this pretty much on hard mode without having those units in my box at their maximum power. But it doesn't really matter all too much. As you are able to see in this video, I do get the no item run. I get the mission done. I don't use items, support memories, nothing. But I did require some assistance of some brand new summonable units. As you can see there, we actually have the Carnival Gohan, which I got in my part 2 summons. If you haven't checked that video out, definitely go check it out there. But the strategy I had for this stage is actually preserving the Great Ape transformation on Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who, hey, spoilers, I also got in that summoning video, until we get into Jiren. That way I'm able to organize my rotations the way that I need them to be organized. So, if you don't know how Super Saiyan 3 works, is that he really only has 4 turns or 2 rotations in his good form, because he has 70% chance to dodge and guard for his first 2 rotations, and then after that, he has no defensive mechanics outside of just his raw defense, which can be very risky to keep him in that base form, but I am able to do so, and that's actually how I get the win, because by preserving the transformation, I'm able to, you know, go into the Great Ape. I can actually move my rotations around. I don't have to worry about the lock from Jiren, and it's pretty much smooth sailing throughout the rest of the fight. Some of the other units that we have on the team, obviously Vegeta is crucial for this. He is our leader. He is our friend lead. For this mission, you only needed 5 Power Beyond Super Saiyan units, so we were able to cheat by throwing on the best unit in the game as our leader. Going into Vegeta's form quickly as possible is kind of the move that I wanted to go to, because this team doesn't really have the best slot 1 options, which can certainly be tricky, especially since Jiren in his int phase has a 0 cooldown. So he's always going to be supering in slot 1. And he also has, you know, the lock. He has the guaranteed ceiling effect, so getting locked in slot 1 can be pretty detrimental if you're not able to live that. But by having Vegeta go out as early as possible, you know, the counters don't do as much damage, so it's a little bit scarier going up against Jiren. The fight does prolong a little bit longer than I would want it to, but ultimately, it's really not, like, that big of a deal. And the other unit that we're running, some of the other units, I suppose I should say, are Super Saiyan 2, who goes into Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Just very solid throughout the entire fight. He tanks very well. Obviously, he has type advantage up against the strongest part of the fight. I believe the hardest part of the fight is actually Int Jiren. AGL Jiren, yeah, his super attack is scary, but it has a rather large cooldown, and, like, the super attack itself is only a 2 million plus crit. Afterwards, however, all of his normals become a 1.8. Now, a 1.8 million are on normals sounds scary, but it's so deep into the fight that it's really not, like, that big of a deal. That's essentially, you're just eating 17 in the Golden Frieza event. You're just basically eating 17 super per normal, which in that fight is really scary, because none of your units have enough time to build up, whether it be getting hit or by doing supers or whatever. In this fight, we have plenty of time to build up, so we don't really have to worry about any of that. So Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3, obviously, they do a lot of damage. They're very reliable defensively. Mine personally has a little bit of dodge on him, but that doesn't really matter too much against AGL Jiren towards the end. We're running Int SSB Vegeta, who is, I mean, the jokes at this point, they're even still funny. Like, he is far and away better than S tier, SSBE. I don't even have the unit in my box, and honestly, I'm kind of glad for it. He does rather solid damage. He can go into slot 1 in some instances. He has the really good active skill, which does good damage. I mean, just damage reduction, guard. He also has the revive, which is crucial to have when I was playing a little bit riskier, so always having a revive in my back pocket was something that I really needed. And then we have Int Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, who kind of was the MVP of this fight, I want to say. It was really never a struggle ever to give him his orbs. Now, there are a couple of times later in the fight where it does get a little bit dicey with the unit, and I don't know if I really feel comfortable using him in the way that I want to, but just the massive amount of orb changing that he was able to provide for the team is insane. And this is what I was talking about right here with the Great Ape. We were actually able to save Great Ape until we got all the way to Jiren. So I was able to move my rotations. I was able to put the locked Vegeta into slot 1. So even though Vegeta, you know, he can still take some damage, and he's not, I mean, he puts up very impressive offensive numbers. They're not the most impressive thing ever, but I don't have to worry about dying in this turn, especially since I don't have a revive or anything of that, like style. So I know it was a little bit risky, but it's ultimately what I think I had to do. At the end of this video, you may be looking at the runtime and wondering why is it still so long with the fast forwarded footage. I put some of my failed attempts for this. All of these were recorded just right back to back to back to back to back. And the only real change that I made to the team between my failed attempt and the winning attempt is taking off Tech Carnival Broly and instead putting on the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. So I mean, is Super Saiyan 2 Int Gohan, is he better than Tech Carnival Broly? I don't know. I really need to sit down and make like a top 10 unit list, because a lot of these units have a lot of versatility. They're all very different from one another. They all do a lot of different things. Like B stocks have gone up. I am still a firm believer that Int Namegoku is better if you're in a shorter event, but for a longer event, having the target all actually is a lot better than Int Namegoku. Great at Vegeta, he's insane. Obviously now we have just the 7-year god, like they're just gods. I know the LR gods are one thing, but then Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is a whole, I mean, he isn't a god, but they're both gods. Like they are on the same level, if not a little bit above Vegeta, which is something that I didn't think I would be saying going into the celebration. But like, I've used Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta one time and I was like, yeah, I can see an argument for this guy being number 1. So it's super, super crazy. Yeah. But again, didn't have those units when I was recording this, but I need to make a dedicated top 10 list. But as you can see here, we're actually getting the Dokkan attack with Int Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. And I mean, he does really good damage. Granted, mine's only 59% or 69%, something along those lines. Not a lot of dupes in him, but he's still launching up multiple 26 millions throughout the entire fight. I wish he had additionals built in anywhere into his passive, just because of how much of a nuking style character he is. But I mean, is it even fair to call him a nuking character when he needs, I mean, he needs so many orbs, but he doesn't necessarily get attack per orb. It's per orb threshold that he crosses that he gets just like the massive amounts of attack. I don't know, it's a little bit weird, but he does a lot of damage. Wish he had some additionals. Looking at this turn, I did ultimately have to decide to go into Vegito. Now, I did do a misplay here. It ultimately didn't really matter too much, but I did ultimately waste Gohan's active there. I thought between that and the target all right here, it would kill. I grossly overestimated the amount of stacks that I got with Vegito. So again, I did really waste Gohan's active. Again, it doesn't come back to bite me in the butt or anything, but if you're wondering why I did that, it was a misplay. I fully recognize that I should not have done that. It doesn't really make like a big deal one way or the other. There was never really a point in the AGL Jiren phase where I could have used it more effectively. I probably would have just wasted it there as well, but it would have been less of a waste there because then, you know, we're one step closer to actually getting the KO instead of just going into another phase. Now we're up against AGL Jiren. So again, once you're at this part of the fight gets significantly easier, at least in my opinion. He has a much larger super cooldown. You're not going to be seeing him super a billion times in slot 1. He's not guaranteed sealing. He's not stunning. He's not locking. But he does nullify dodge. So that's kind of where some of the struggle of this fight comes in with a lot of Power Beyond Super Saiyan units. Like a unit who is relatively solid and would be very solid for a fight like this would be in Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku, the Easy A. But obviously that's a dodging unit. You can't bring him in here up against this final phase unless you have Tech MUI. But Tech MUI, he is in Power Beyond Super Saiyan, so are you going to be running him as your one and only non-Power Beyond Super Saiyan unit? No, I don't think so, but, I mean, yeah, but again, it's not that scary. It's not that scary. The Super certainly can do damage. Again, I believe it's a 2.2. I'm not at my computer at this time. Again, I'm on my phone, but I believe it's a 2.2 plus a crit, and I still don't really know how the crit mechanic works. I'm not entirely sure if it just nullifies our defense, or like the defense we get for the turn. I don't know if it's a 1.5 times multiplier. I don't know. I've not figured that out. I haven't seen anyone talking about how it actually works on any forum, be it the Dokkan Wiki or over on Twitter. I haven't seen any Dokkan YouTubers talking about it. So if anyone does know, or if they could like link me to a post where someone does figure it out, that would be greatly appreciated. I just know that it hits hard. Like the super does hit hard, but you're basically only going to be seeing it once every 2 turns because again, his cooldown is like 10 or something. So if he supers, you're pretty much good for the rest of that turn, the rest of the next turn, and then after that, you're going to have to start worrying about it again. But other than that, I mean, 1.8 million normals, again, sounds scary, but we're so deep into the fight, so many of our units' passives are built up, and a lot of the time they're going to be able to super before they have to eat that incredibly large normal attack, so it's not the biggest deal ever. As you can see here, we're doing the other target all mechanic with this Vegeta. And, I mean, it's pretty much just smooth sailing from here. It does get a little bit scary because, obviously, my other Vegito, like, that transformation wears off. But I can pretty safely just put Vegeta into slot 1 because Vegeta, like, he's the GOAT. Vegeta is so freaking good as a slot 1. Like, is he the best slot 1? Like, I know people really, really enjoy Goku. And I believe that Goku is probably better in the future, just because eventually Vegeta won't be able to tank in slot 1, but Goku will with an 80% chance to dodge. But like, I've already seen that Goku kind of get cooked up against some normals and some supers if you fail the 80%, which is super rare, but like, it can happen. And in a fight like this, where again, dodge is nullified, you wouldn't really be able to like reliably run dual AGL Gogeta and have Goku's be your slot 1 option. You'd have to kind of finagle things around and figure out a different option for your slot 1. But I believe it's not on this turn, but the next turn, actually, is where we get our victory. So, all things considered, this was pretty easy. It only took me 4 total attempts. Again, I had to play a little bit risky with the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I feel sure there's some other teams you could have been running, or again, if you just couldn't get it and you waited until the 7-year LR EZA details came out, that's pretty much just a walk in the park from there, because those guys are insane. Like, genuinely insane. I've not used the gods yet. My gods are only 55%, apparently. I thought I had them at 79%. I only have them at 55%, but at some point, I'll be recording some videos using those units, utilizing those units. That way you guys can really see how destructive they can be. Again, my Super Saiyan 4s are rainbowed, so you're going to get to see some really fun big numbers out of them. But I'm going to go ahead and start to wrap up the video for right here. So again, stick around if you want to see some of my fast-forwarded failed attempts. And I will also show like my full team. I will show my links and everything. And I feel like this video is also, I always say this, but like, I feel like it is good to have a voice in the community that isn't rainbowed, who doesn't have like all these units at their maximum potential. A lot of these units I'm running, they're not full link level 10. They aren't full, like 100% of the rainbow hidden potential system. A lot of these characters don't even have orbs. This is just smart playing while also having like the right options. Like, obviously I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't have some of these options available to me, but again, smart plays and everything like that. But that is going to be all for this time, guys. I've been the Super27. I'm a variety Twitch streamer and an up-and-coming PNG YouTuber trying to make it big in the world. I have a Twitter and a Twitch, the links to which can be found in the description of this video. And while you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, share me around, and leave me a comment, positive, negative, or indifferent. I would love just any sort of interaction I can get from y'all. And let me know, what did you think about this mission? Did you struggle with it? I mean, if you have been struggling with it, you really shouldn't now that the 7 years are out. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought of this event. But yeah, that's going to be all for now. So, as always, I've been the Super27, and I am signing off.